Hey guys, this is Rachel with Cypress Textiles, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make the Sydney square from the 2020 VVCAL Vibrant Vintage Crochet Along. We're going to start by making a slip knot and chain 3, and then slip stitch into the third chain from the hook. You could also chain 4 here or make a magic ring, whatever you prefer. Then straight into our center ring, we're gonna make a beginning treble stitch. So basically you're gonna go straight into that ring with a single crochet. I don't chain up or anything for a single crochet. So just make a single and then chain 2. And that is gonna be the first treble of the round. Now we're gonna make a chain 1 because there is a chain 1 space in between each treble. And then we're gonna do a repeat of treble crochet, chain 1. And that's going to be 11 times. So what you're going to end up with is 12 treble crochets and 12 chain 1 spaces on your first round. All right, so I'll show you guys how that looks when I'm all finished with it. Okay, so here's what my round 1 looks like. I just have to join the round. So I'm going to join into the second chain because you're going into the top of that beginning treble. So leave the chain 1 space as it is, and then just go into that second chain with a slip stitch. And just make sure your slip stitch isn't too tight so it lays flat over the beginning treble. Okay, so to start the next round, we're gonna make a slip stitch into the chain there. Go straight into the chain, not in the chain space. Again, make sure your slip stitch lays flat over the chain. And then in the next stitch, we're gonna go ahead and make a beginning DC. So go straight into it with a single crochet and chain 1. And that's the first DC of the round. Now make 3 more double crochet in that same stitch. Okay, and so you have 4 double crochet in 1 stitch, including the beginning one that I've made. Now, just in all of the stitches around, you're gonna make 4 double crochet. Okay, so I've got 4 double crochet in each stitch around, and for this round, we're actually not gonna join into, normally we would join into the first stitch with a slip stitch, but for this next round, we're not gonna join, we're just gonna go straight into our beginning DC with another beginning DC. So you're just gonna go straight into that chain and make a single, okay? And then we're gonna chain 1. All right, and that stitch is actually the first stitch of our beginning DC 4 together. So from here, we're gonna make a DC 3 together, and then that plus our beginning DC is going to be a beginning DC 4 together. And I know that is like such a mouthful, so let's just do it. We've got our beginning DC here. Now we're gonna yarn over, insert the hook into the next stitch and pull up a loop, and then draw the yarn through 2 loops in the hook, and do that again into the next stitch. Yarn over, drop a loop, and pull the yarn through 2 loops on the hook. Now yarn over. This is just like a cluster, but spread over a few stitches so that you make 1 stitch from 3. So now you're gonna draw the yarn through all your loops on the hook there, and you can see that together the DC 3 together with the beginning DC makes a beginning 4 DC together, because we're gonna do DC 4 together in all of the rest of these stitch groups. So now we're going to chain 4 and DC 4 together over the next 4 double crochet. So just keep yarning over and then drawing the yarn through 2 loops on the hook. Okay, and once you draw the yarn through all of the loops, your DC 4 together is complete. And then chain 4. And just repeat that around chain 4 and then DC 4 together across your next 4 DC. So you're gonna make little petals is what it's gonna end up being whenever you're finished with this round. Okay, so you can see how the round kind of makes these 2 round petals so that they're these large, nice looking petals for the inside of this square. So I'm ready to join into this beginning DC 4 together, and I'm just going to go through all of these loops. I do this just like if it were a cluster. I go through all these front loops here, get them all back on the hook, and then just make a slip stitch through there. And that way your first stitch ends up looking like all of the rest of them. Okay, so we're gonna work into this chain space for our next round with a beginning DC. So just go straight in with a single and chain 1, and then make 4 more double crochets in that same chain space. And then you're gonna make a double crochet into this DC4 together here. So just go straight into the top of it with a DC. And then DC 5 more into this next chain space. Okay, and then we're at our corner, and we're gonna make 4 trebles, 1 into this next chain space. So 4 treble crochet, 3 and 4, and then chain 3, and then 4 trebles again. The same corner chain space. So the corner is 4 trebles, chain 3, 4 trebles. So now I'm gonna back up and show you how this looks, because this is gonna be our repeat. So we're gonna make 5 DC, 1 DC in this DC4 together here, 5 DC, and then 4 trebles, chain 3, 4 trebles. All right, gonna work that way all the way around your square. Okay, so my round is finished here, and I'm ready to join into the beginning DC of the round. So I'm just gonna go ahead and go straight into that beginning DC chain with a slip stitch. And my final round here is super simple. This is actually a really quick square and pretty cute. You can make these 2 rounds in one color and have the petals kind of pop. So I really like this square because it's really fast. So we're just gonna make single crochet in all of the stitches coming up to the corner chain space. And then in the corner chain space, you're just going to make 3 singles. And that's how we're gonna work around this square. Just singles in all of the stitches, and then 3 singles in the corner. Alrighty, I'll show you guys how that looks whenever I'm finished. All right, so I do have a completed square here. Obviously, this is a different square than the other one, but it's completed, and I went ahead and joined into the first single crochet of the round with a slip stitch. And now I'm just gonna go ahead and show you how I weave in my yarn tail. So whenever you have that slip stitch over your final stitch, that's gonna act as the top of the stitch, just like the rest of these make the little V. So that's how that one's gonna act. So you gotta make sure that you don't make it all tight. You have to kind of make it loose. So then we're gonna go from back to front through both loops of the stitch to the left of the joining stitch. Then just grab that yarn tail and pull it to the back. And then to complete this weaving in the tail, we're gonna go into the stitch to the right of the joining stitch from back to front with your hook through back loop only. Then grab that tail and pull it to the back. Okay, and that's how we're gonna make that same maneuver to weave the tail in. So just go from back to front through back loop only through keep pulling your tail to the back until the tail is completely woven in. All right, so just go back to front through back loop only, and we're almost there. All right, and once you make your next round or you join your squares together, you're never gonna be able to see this tail, and it's gonna get encased. So it won't come undone or anything. And this is the best way I've found to weave the tail in. If you have just normal, even if you have lace or whatever, that'll work. So this is the first stitch of the round, and sometimes even if I'm trying to find my first stitch, I have trouble locating it because it just blends in with all the rest of them. So I hope that is a good tip for you to weave your tail that way. And other than that, this has been the Sydney square from the 2020 VVCAL, and this is Shape Just Katana with a 3mm hook. This is also Shaper's Katana, the previous square, a really good fingering weight cotton yarn to work with. So anyway, guys, every Friday I release a new square for the 2020 VVCAL, so I'll see you guys in the next one.